My name is Phil Thornton and I'm a consulting editor for the website londonsummit.gov.uk. We're trying to create an independent debate around the issues that are going to be discussed at the G20 London Summit in London on the 2nd of April. Today I'm here at Lancaster House in central London, where there's an all-day workshop organised by the Brussels think tank Bruegel together with the Foreign Office about all the issues about the macroeconomy and the financial markets as far as it affects European countries. Now, first of all, I'm delighted to be joined by Jin O'Neill, Chief Economist of the investment bank Goldman Sachs. Now, you've been obviously discussing the state of the European economy. Looking forward to the next month, what do you think the London Summit can achieve?
Well, in some ways, I think the summit shouldn't set itself too bigger ambitions, because then it's going to probably fail to deliver. Some of the more encouraging things I've heard this morning is that Europe's going to try and put its combined fiscal efforts into some kind of perspective in terms of net fiscal stimulus for the world, and that's what the rest of the world's going to be looking from Europe. So I think on that basis alone, it's pretty good. What we are also trying to discuss, which is a bit more complicated, is the important issues about architectural reform of the financial system, where I think Europe has a big role to play as well.
Now, only yesterday the 27 heads of state of the EU met in Brussels, and there seemed to be a lot of unity about dealing with key issues such as Eastern Europe. I mean, how much unity do you think there was, and how important is that going to be going forward?
Well, I think that meeting sounds like it was pretty good yesterday. What we really need here is more collective realisation that unless we all act together, we're all going to sink together. And I think as each week goes by, as the evidence unfortunately gets worse, luckily our policymakers are realising that, and I think the kind of meeting we had at the weekend was an encouraging sign. And hopefully, as one of the participants has rather nicely mentioned here a few minutes ago, what this meeting should really be about from a European perspective is trying to instill some confidence, because that's what we need to stop some of the rot that's going on in the private sector and to reduce the burdens that will face Europe and the world's policymakers going forward.
Gordon Brown is going to take a European message with him to his meeting with US President Barack Obama tomorrow. How important do you think it is that we see a real sense of coordination and consensus on positions between the United States and Europe?
I really admire the Prime Minister's energy in trying to push to get out there before this G20, because I think it's very important that the US realises the interests in the rest of the world and some of the leaders in trying to make this G20 meeting such a big deal. We're only 6 weeks into the new administration, and without these kind of interventions there'd be a temptation for them to be perhaps a little bit inward looking, and given how the US has played a critical role at the middle of this crisis and in bringing us out of it, I'm sure, I think the Prime Minister's desire to get this meeting and to push the G20 agenda is really very impressive.